Lockdown. Here we go. Hi, everybody. Ron Onesti here at the Arcana Theater in St. Charles. We call it Rock and Roll Heaven here right outside of Chicago. This week's edition, Artists on Lockdown, Hanging and Banging. We've got some very special guests as we do every week. We bring rock and roll's most enormous stars. I got to tell you, especially the last few weeks, incredible. This is our 42nd, number 41 episode on Artists on Lockdown. And my co-host tonight, as every week, these are legends and icons. You know them from Black Sabbath, from Last in Line. I just love this guy. I do, Vinny. Vinny Appice, come on down. You know him from Dio. There he is. Appice.
Appice. Appice.
Appice.
Hey, Ron, you must have a bad connection. You're really fuzzy. If you send me your coordinates, I'll beam you up.
Well, you know what the issue here is? We had a huge, this weather here, we had it all set up, and a huge windstorm here in Chicago knocked down our thing. I can see it right outside the window here. So we're really struggling out here in Chicago, really bad. Like 60 mile an hour winds. It's been nuts the last 2 days over here. So we'll muddle through it this week. We're going to figure it out. But let's bring our big brother, you know him from Vanilla Fudge, of course, Carmine Appice. Let's see what color hair we have this week. There we go.
I'm great. Gray hair.
Gray hair. Gray hat.
I got hair. I still got hair.
Well, that makes two of us.
It needs to be washed. So I put the hat on.
Hey, you know the logo in the beginning. It looks like an Italian restaurant, Hanging and Banging with Appice and Onesti.
I know. Hey guys, we have a big show tonight. I'll tell you what, I want to talk about a couple things before we get our guests on. One thing in particular, but we got to make sure that we remind everybody. Number one, we want to see your comments. Now, I'm on the chat here, so let me know. Kevin, Vinny, love the show on Tuesday. Let's see here. Maria Lopez Wells is saying hello. Bill Eggleston, Eggleston, of course, good to see you every week. So make sure you chime in on our chat. Make sure you ask a question, because at the end of the show, we are going to ask some of the questions of our celebrities that you want to know the answers to. And make sure you like us, you share us, you subscribe on all our platforms, on Facebook, on YouTube. We hit iHeart this week on our podcast and Spotify accounts. Very, very exciting. So make sure you do that. So, Vinny, what do you think about our opening number, our opening music?
I love it, man. Monsters and Heroes, but the end is not good. It just cuts off.
I wasn't sure. I didn't rehearse, so I was like, and it stopped. Okay, here we are.
Yeah, I could fade it for you guys, or Carmine can.
Yes, we'll have to work on the fading. You know, just like this. I'm really good on fading. You can see I got the fade going.
Ben could tell me how long it needs to be, so it fades out nice, and then go, hey, I'm Ron Onesti. And we got a fabulous show tonight, and just
underneath.
Bring it down.
Leave it underneath. We can leave it underneath and very low.
Yeah, you can leave it underneath.
That's what I'm saying. Bring it down. Let me introduce the show. I was like caught off guard, and it's cool though. It's really cool. But do you like it, Carmine? Do we have a consensus
here now? I think it's good. I think it works.
Hey, is that a sweater underneath the jacket? What's going on there with that orange?
All right, so you know what? I had a meeting today with the Italian Consul General here. Of the United States. So I had to, I'm going to show you something. You're not going to believe this. You're going to think I'm messing around. So this thing here, this little pin that I got to wear, you're not going to believe this, but I've actually, you know how Paul McCartney is knighted in England?
Yeah.
Well, in Italy, there's a thing called a cavaliere, and now you think I'm messing around. The president of Italy, I've been knighted. I did just before my mom passed away, so I got lucky. But I actually been knighted by the president of Italy. That's called the cavaliere, and I had a meeting with him today. Really? That's why I have this look today.
When'd you get that? Today?
No, I got it about 3 years ago now. But yeah, it's a big deal. I'm just saying.
No, I mean the sweater.
No, the 80s, obviously.
Oh my God.
Hey man, we got a big show.
That's why it sounds like an Italian restaurant.
Well, that's it. So, you guys are royalty. You guys are rock royalty. But here, I just want you to know, I've got my little piece. I'm just saying. Hey guys, let me just say, Come on. Besides Black Sabbath and Vanilla Fudge, besides Dio and Vanilla Fudge, besides Last in Line and Vanilla Fudge, my favorite band is Yes. And tonight, we've got two superstars from that band. Very excited. Billy Sherwood, Jon Davison is with us. Let's bring Mr. Sherwood to the microphone. I know he's out there somewhere.
Hey,
Let's see. There's Billy Sherwood.
How are you guys? Thanks for having me.
turn up your volume if you can.
I'm not really savvy on this stuff.
That's why we have you on the show, because that's the deal here.
You had a studio. Come on, you had a studio. You were an engineer.
Yeah, but I don't run it from my iPad.
I know, and that's something. If it doesn't have a slide on it, I don't understand what to do, right?
Right. Don't I have a tech around here somewhere? Oh, that's right.
Yeah, where's the tech? The guy with the flashlight.
The guy with the
guy with the flashlight.
You need a 16-year-old tech now these days, right? That can tell us what to do with these iPads and everything.
And remind me how to use it when I'm home and he's gone, you know?
Right.
Well, I'll tell you what, Billy, I'm loving them Git fiddles back on the wall over there. Look at those things.
Yeah.
This is my
What's your I love the, let's see, was it a white one there? What is your favorite one out of that bunch right there?
Well, my personal favorite is I've endorsed Spectre for many years, and I have a Spectre bass here. I'll grab it real quick.
Yeah,
and it actually has these really beautiful inlays, which you see how these fish.
Oh wow,
yeah, nice.
Right.
Wow, that's pearl.
They go all the way up and down the neck. So, in honor of Chris, this bass became available, and it was just too perfect. So that's my favorite. I love all this.
Oh no.
Well, let's get Billy back. In the meantime, there he is. Billy, we lost you for a second.
Hang on a minute.
Hold on. You're back. Hey, Billy, I have in my corner there, I have a 61 Fender Precision. You're gone again. Billy? Ron? Hey, Ron, I have a 61 Fender Precision over there. And I now have a 1969 Luggage snare drum right here that I just bought.
What do you mean you now have? What do you mean you now have? Is that come out of storage?
I just bought it.
How much?
So when you say
see that?
When you say you just bought it, is that like
that's cool. Look at that. Look at that muffler.
Look at that. It's got a muffler and everything.
What's the size? Is that 5 or 5?
It's a 5 inch.
Oh, it looks bigger.
It sounds great. Sounds really
how do you
good.
buy stuff? I mean, is that something that somebody? I mean, a guy like you.
I gotta say, it's the first drum I bought in about 20 years.
Yeah, Carmine doesn't buy drums. I don't buy drums either.
Yeah, so
you steal them. What happened? You guys are from Brooklyn. You steal them.
No, so I went to the
steal drums.
You want to know how I got it or not?
Wait.
You steal drums and you leave them up on milk crates. What's left?
He got it off the back of a truck.
All right.
Henry Hill gave it to me.
Henry Hill.
There you go, Henry Hill.
No, seriously, I went to an event Saturday at a drum shop, and
really?
There you go, Billy. And I went upstairs and I saw that drum. I said, "Wow, that looks cool. How much is it?" She told me the price. I took it off and I started playing it. And then I said, "Well, how much is it for me?" And he gave me a discount, so I bought it.
I can't like if it were mine. I mean, I would love the story alone to say, yeah, I gave my snare to one of the most iconic drummers in history.
No,
I wasn't. I wasn't there.
But he wasn't there. But I also got a beater, for the bass drum, a ball beater, which he did give me, But then I bought the snare drum.
As long as you got the respect, my man. That's wait a second. We have a Sherwood interloper that just ran by.
Somebody just
there. An intruder.
I just saw a streaker.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've got Jon Davison who was calling me to try to figure out how to get into our loop here, and
he's on. Let's bring Jon on.
No, he's not on. He's not
on.
Yes, no, he's not on. But he said, "Tell Ron I'm here." So I guess.
Okay, you got it, Jon. Ben will get to you. He just texted me that you're here. He is here.
Hey guys. Hey. Yes. Hey, man. I've been trying to get in for like 10 minutes.
He's got reverb too.
Hey, Jon, how you doing, dude?
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. How you doing, Carmine?
I'm good. Good.
All right, Vinny,
Hey,
what's up? Billy, Ron?
How you doing?
Good to see you, man.
Yeah.
Where are you? I love that view.
Yeah, it's actually just a picture
I
on
know.
the wall, but I'm in Barbados.
You're in Barbados. Oh,
yeah,
nice.
so it pretty much does look like that out my window, but
Yeah. I'm in Florida. I'm in Florida. It looks like that too.
okay.
Isn't it amazing? You're in Barbados and you need a picture. Why don't you just put on the window? I can just imagine what's outside your window. A Barbados 7-Eleven? No, it's
yeah. Well, it's 7:15 here right now, so it's dark.
wow.
Otherwise, I would have.
Carmine, I was going to say, Carmine, I don't know if you remember, but around the Guitar Zeus time that, I was working with you on that record.
Yeah.
You were kind enough to give me one of your Pang cymbals, which I've actually
really?
have in my arsenal.
Wow.
Really great.
I got great story. I always tell the story about you and me. And I was doing Guitar Zeus Japan, and we did it on 24 track. So I said to Billy, I said, well, look, I need to get all the mixes so I can do this in Japan. So he looked at the 24 tracks and said, well, do you want to take all those? Or you want to take this D88 and stick it in your pocket like this?
Right.
Wow.
And I looked at it, I said, I think I'll take the D88.
Right?
Do you remember that?
Yeah, it's funny because I get in interviews asked all the time, because of the engineering stuff. Do you think analog's coming back, and how do you feel? Do you feel nostalgic about it? And I said, for all these records I do where I'm working with various artists and sending stuff all over the planet, nobody asks for a 24-track tape. Trust me when I tell you.
Except me.
Especially these days.
Like the theme song that we just played, when we mixed it, we bounced it all to 24-track tape.
Yeah.
After the mixes.
Hey, Billy, you know that symbol Carmine gave you?
Yeah.
It's yours.
He needs it back.
Oh.
Times are rough, man.
Hey, do you have it? Do you have it handy? Do you have it handy? I'd like to see what it looks like.
It's in my garage. I was going to ask Vinny now where I need a symbol from Vinny so I can kind of have my symmetry together and balance.
Yeah, there you go, Vinny.
That's right.
All right, I'll send you one. Send me your address.
Oh, that'd be awesome, dude.
On the email.
Stereo icons. Love it.
That'd be awesome. That would be awesome.
So first of all, guys, I gotta once again apologize. We had our towers down here, our wind storm here. So I'm looking a little green apparently from our people think it's in honor of St. Patrick's Day. So I'm gonna go with that.
You're green and fuzzy. Green and
I know. No, I'm just happy to see you.
It's a little like Resident Alien.
I mean, what guy? Come on, Ron. I mean, he's in Barbados. Look how clear and beautiful it is.
All the way there. That's the thing. Maybe I need to go to Barbados. I'll be down there, Johnny. All right.
All right, sounds good, man.
There you go.
Come on down.
So I got a quick question here, Billy Sherwood. Now you've been around. No, that's you. That's you. You've been around kings. You've been around presidents. You've been around the top rock and roll people of all time. Huge celebrity you are. I want to know most about, and only the old people like us are going to know what I'm talking about, Milton Berle.
Oh, I thought you were going to say William Shatner.
Well, that's another one, but Milton Berle's trumps William Shatner.
Well,
that's
Milton
older,
Berle
yeah.
Milton Berle and my dad were very close. Back before television was even a thing. A family brought home this box and plugged it in and said, look, this is called TV. And on TV at that time was one of the first shows, which was the Milton Berle Show. And
I remember it.
Comedy, variety kind of thing. My dad was like the Ed McMahon sidekick of the show.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
crazy.
I haven't heard that one.
They were very close and very, chummy and remained so through life. And as a result, he's my godfather. He held me at my breast.
How about that?
Wow.
Cool.
Crazy.
Very
and,
cool.
My dad has a star on Hollywood and Vine right down the street from Capitol Records. And the icons they put on to show what it was for, surprisingly to me when I first saw it, was not a musical icon with the record, but it's a television. Because it was before the Milton Berle Show. So, yeah, that's the connection there. And I always get asked about the Rat Milton Berle connection because
Yeah.
I think one of the guys in Rats, it's actually his uncle. Or I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Because he was in their video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah,
Do you have any
John,
kind of a?
You see,
Go
John,
ahead,
on
Carp.
this show, and on this show, you get to hear all kinds of stuff you never knew before.
That's right. It's an education, man.
Yeah.
But now your father's and you're such. By the way, happy birthday, by the way, brother.
Hey,
this week, right?
Thanks. Yeah,
Whose birthday?
Just a couple days ago. It was very
Oh,
nice.
happy birthday.
Very nice.
But you coming from a musical family the way you did, it's unbelievable. I mean, your uncle, your mom specifically, and your dad with regards to the big band. Do you feel, or did the big band influence you, that music, when you were growing up a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, my dad, was a thing in Vegas with my mom. They had an act, and they would play with a 16-piece jazz big band. They'd play with a 7-piece and a Dixieland band and a quartet, and so they had all kinds of different.
Hang on a second.
And they would always rehearse there on Tropicana in Vegas at the Musicians Union. And I just remember, every summer hanging out at the Musicians Union, watching these amazing musicians playing, and quite frankly, drinking and smoking way more than they probably should have.
Was the Musicians Union still on Vine Street then?
No, it was on Tropicana.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in Vegas.
Vegas, yeah.
Oh.
6, 7,
Yeah.
I think. What it
Hey,
was.
Billy, remember that? You have a video, don't you? You're like 10 years old, and you're there playing drums, right? They let you sit in?
12 years old, I played with my dad's Dixieland jazz band.
Wow.
In Vegas.
Now, do you have a clip of that video we could post right now?
I have it, but I'm not sure how we would play it.
Okay.
We're gonna get it. We're gonna have to get it. Ben, get on that.
Maybe I'll text it to Ben or something, maybe, and see if
that's great.
Yeah.
It's funny. I got a video of Vinny playing with Vanilla Fudge when he was 8.
That is so cool.
We gotta see that.
Oh, wow.
That's amazing.
What?
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah, you.
No.
So what's the age difference between you guys, Vinny and Carmine?
11 years.
Carmine's 80.
I'm
He's
younger.
80.
I'm younger.
It depends who you're talking to, John.
Yeah. On what day?
Carmine's 80.
He's got, you know what? Each week, hey guys, each week with these two freaking brothers, I'm telling you, so many times I got to get in between them. But you know what? And Vinny's not gonna. These guys won't admit to it. Maybe they will. But the love and the respect that they have for each other, even though they goof around, it's really, most of these people, those are brothers, they fight, this, that, those guys, I admire them because of the love and respect that they do have for each other. Seriously.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well,
Thank you.
brothers are brothers.
So Carmine's like 85 years old, and I'm 58.
You know what? Never mind. I didn't take that back. Never mind. Hey, so, John, we were talking about beginnings here and coming up. First of all, I'm a huge Glasshammer fan, and I love your your influence with that. But with Glasshammer, and I know you weren't one of the founders of Glasshammer, but with the influences. I mean, if you could answer this question about influence with regards to prog rock, and obviously the fact that you ended up in Yes, was that due to any connection with Glasshammer?
Yeah, absolutely. But actually, it started with being in a Yes cover band.
Roundabout.
Yeah. Yeah. I was in a band. I started out as a bass player in Seattle through the 90s. I was there during all the, the big scene there. And then after all that, I was sort of in this lull period, and I couldn't find a gig, and I wasn't that interested with what anybody was doing anyways, originally speaking. And I was just like, what can I do? I was quite depressed about it, actually. And the only thing I could really find, I knew somebody that was starting this Yes cover band. I thought, well, at the very least, I'll just keep my gigging chops up. Of course, I had never lead sung at that point in time, but I knew I had the high voice for it. I just thought, I've got to do something or I'll literally go crazy. So that was the start of it. And thank God I did that, because think of what it led to, obviously. So the next step was Glasshammer. because they saw me online doing that, and then that led to yes, it was these steps that I was able to ascend
It's
all
all
from
connected,
just a
it
cover
seems.
band,
Well, that's amazing. I mean, it's we've got our good friend Ronnie Platt who got the job in Kansas. Obviously, Mr. Pineda with Journey. We got, and it's something because, there's probably you probably had some people, maybe some naysayers. Well, you were in a tribute band, you shouldn't be in the original band, because I know I've heard that, not about you, of course, but others. Ronnie Platt told me, he says it was tough at the beginning because people are such purists that if you're not John Anderson, this isn't Yes. Is that something you had to battle at all?
Oh yeah, definitely, and I still do to some extent, but I think having Glass Hammer in between the two helped a lot, because that gave me some more credibility in my own right as an artist.
Well, I remember seeing you guys up in New Rochelle or whatever it was where I came to see you, and I was blown away by how good Jon sang Anderson stuff. It was really awesome.
Cool. Now, where was that?
That was upstate, right up north of New York City.
Westbury.
Okay.
Westchester. Westchester.
Okay.
Westchester, yeah.
And we probably met that night. I mean, I know.
That's when we met that night.
Okay.
It was you guys, Asia, Carl Palmer. I am the God of Hellfire, Arthur Brown.
Oh yeah, Arthur Brown. Yeah. Oh, so that was just 2019.
And Asia. It was Asia. It was the guy from Asia. Moody Blue. Was it Asia too?
John.
Yeah, and John Lodge.
John Lodge, right?
John Lodge.
Yeah, it was a good show.
Moody Blues.
Yeah. Now, Ron, I met you at the Arcada in November, didn't I?
Yeah, man.
What was that? 2019.
It was 19. I was lucky enough to get, you guys did a very unique, intimate show. I've been very fortunate. I've had Yes. I've had Jon Anderson with Jean-Luc Ponty, which is an amazing show if you ever see that. And then Mr. Wakeman, I've had his solo show. But we're bringing that back. Great to see you with that, man.
Yeah, but I'm talking about John Lodge at the Arcada.
You were with John Lodge, absolutely.
That's right. Remember, and the heater didn't work. It was freezing.
Yeah.
Everybody was wearing parkas in the seats.
How were the meatballs? But how were the meatballs?
The meatballs always great. But you're right. But I got to tell you, since then, there's always kind of a little bit of a upside. So that the terrible thing about the pandemic, of course, all the downside. The slight upside, we've just completed a $3 million renovation of the Arcada Theater. Everything's brand new.
Wow.
HVAC, dressing rooms, restaurants. It's just amazing. So
great.
I think on a future show, you need to do a little tour of the Arcada.
Yes. I'll do that, because within about 2 weeks, you just won't recognize it. It's just amazing,
Oh,
Hey, I got a little
surprise. Those dressing rooms were cool anyways. All the colorful dressing rooms down there.
We've got
that's all changed, huh?
Yeah, you have the drum room. The drum room. That was great.
We're going to rename it after you guys.
Is that still there?
Oh, yeah. I got the drum. We got the drum room, the guitar room. We got the Bob Marley room.
That's the Hangin' Bangin' room now.
We're going to call it that, believe me. Hey, speaking of hanging and banging, we have a little surprise. Billy, thank you for hooking us up. We have a little video footage here for you. Ben, let's see what you got.
I was 12.
Okay, nice. Let's see it.
Look at that. Listen to that music.
Wow.
Woo. Nice.
Yeah.
That's my boy.
Bless your heart. Yeah, he's going to be all right. In fact, he's all right now.
You got a future, kid.
Hey, you had the same haircut, too. You had the same haircut.
Yeah.
I should have been playing.
That was good.
I should have been playing T-ball or something, but I was playing with my dad's band.
I know. Hey, guys,
I like the cowbell at the end.
Right, it's typical Dixie band thing.
Yeah, boom.
Yeah. Shades of Asia.
Actually, you could use more cowbell there.
Someone had to say it.
Oh,
That's
okay. You see that picture? Do you see that picture that's shown up there? Now, I sent this because, first of all, I was asked if I wanted to send any pictures, and this tells a little bit history of how I grew up. That's Taylor Hawkins from Foo Fighters. We were childhood best friends.
Wow.
And that's
really?
a picture of us playing a gig in our crappy little cover band in high school. Yeah,
that's interesting. How you're there with Taylor, and then years later, in 2015, you got a Foo concert going on, and all of a sudden, freaking Jon Davison joins them for Tom Sawyer.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and
That's cool.
I sang with them in Dublin, I guess, in 2019. Also, I was just there with my girlfriend Emily, and we were on the side of the stage.
You did Under Pressure.
Yeah, we did Under Pressure, just on the spot. There were like 45,000 people there, the largest audience I've ever been in front of. And they just called me over right there. Nothing was planned or rehearsed. I knew most of the words. I mean, we all do, but it's funny when you actually have to sing something under pressure.
Yeah.
Don't mind the pun. It's hard to remember all those lyrics, but I think it went pretty well.
Tremendous.
Yeah.
Hey, Billy and John, I want to say 2 words, and I want to get your knee jerk. No, it's a good one. I want to get your knee jerk response here. Chris Squires.
Life changing would be my initial response. I mean, I met Chris, 30 plus years ago, and never imagined things would evolve into what they have. But we were very, very close, and we worked together musically. Excuse me, very closely. But and we're just really close friends, and he was an amazing guy, as John will tell you. I mean, funny as hell, and just.
Really, a great player.
What a
so innovative.
You don't hear about his sense of humor You don't hear about his sense of humor very often, though.
Oh my!
It's good to hear.
That's the best part of what I thought of Chris. I mean, that's why we got along so well. I think was because we were just laughing at the stupidest shit. You know what I mean? But it was actually a lot of fun. And when I was touring in the band before, because I'd been in the band in the '90s with Open Your Eyes on the Ladder, playing guitar on the other side of the stage. Chris and I would stand next to each other and just bullshit all night long, back and forth with each other. And the other guys in the band would be kind of concerned that we were up to something over there, which is why I thought Conspiracy is a perfect name for our side project.
Bill, didn't Chris record some of those tribute albums for Cleopatra over your place?
Yeah, he did a few.
So I think I played on a track with him over there.
Yeah, I'm sure over the many that we've done. He played on the Prague Collective, which was the last record he played on. And that's when I saw him. I went to Arizona and recorded him. And 6 weeks later, man, he was gone, So life was just shocking.
How about you, John?
Yeah.
Well, Chris is, he was larger than life. And I agree with Billy. He really had the same sense of humor as Billy. Billy really reminds me of Chris in a lot of ways. I didn't spend a lot of time. There's a compliment. Yeah, I didn't spend a lot of time hanging with them together that much, a little bit. But as I got to know Billy, it was really comforting. Losing Chris was such a hardship, something I didn't think we'd rebound from. But Billy sort of stepped in, of course, making the role his very own. But there was something so similar and familiar that was comforting to have Billy there. And just, you're so much like Chris. Even your height. And again, the sense of humor and the musicianship, and it's been great knowing both of them.
One of the first things Chris said to me when I met him, I first met him. The first encounter I had with him, I went to see the Moody Blues.
Oh, really?
Which is a strange circle, isn't it? It's because
Patrick Mraz, so Chris was at a Moody Blues show.
Chris was at the Moody Blues show watching because Mraz had invited him.
That's right.
Wow.
Okay.
I went because the keyboard player in my band, World Trade, was the second keyboard player in the Moody's. So it was this weird reason for us all to be there. But there I am sitting in the audience, and several rows in front of me is Chris Squire, and I'm like, I got to meet this guy. So he got up to go to the green room, and I had my laminate too. And so I just chased him down the Greek or wherever we were at theater. Went to his jacket and pulled on his jacket and said, And he turned around and looked at me funny, and he says, "Hi." And I said, "You're Chris Squire." And he's like, "Yeah, I am." And I said, "Hi, I'm Billy Sherwood. I'm a huge fan." And the first thing he said to me, he says, "You're tall." And I said, "Okay." And he says, "It's good to be tall." What the hell does that mean? You know? But,
Yeah.
and then we started chuckling right there, and we just never stopped from that point forward, man. We just goofed.
Wow.
You know? I've got some very funny stories that I can't really tell over the Zoom, but oh my God.
In your book.
The times we
in
had.
your book.
Yeah, the times we had. They were great. Good guy. And, you know, the thing is, as you were talking about, you know, to Jon about, you know, the naysayers and whatnot, for the most part, the fan base has been extremely, like, warm and inviting of this new version of Yes that we have here, you know.
Yeah.
But there is this fringe contingency that loves to have this go at, you know, no Jon, no Yes, no Chris, no Yes. And, you know, and I stay away from it online for the most part, but every now and then I can't help it but to take the bait and respond. But, you know, it annoys me when I see these guys are like, you know, no, without Chris, it should have stopped, when the reality is that's exactly what Chris did not want. He wanted to continue, which is a big part of what motivated me to really grab this bull by the horns, so to speak, because he really had a passion for going forward. Even, you know, it's all he talked about before he passed away. I mean, we talk about the songs and the gear and the lyrics and the harmonies and do you need anything, and, you know, how are the guys and how's the crew. And I mean, his whole thing was this passion for Yes, which obviously he was the only one who never left the band, you know.
Right.
So I took that as a real serious challenge and honor.
Yeah.
And so it kind of pisses me off when I hear people say that, especially when they're speaking for Chris. It's like, what the hell? You know, you're completely on the wrong side here. You're 180 the wrong direction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You would have wanted it, absolutely.
Yeah.
You talk about the new incarnation, if you referred to it, Billy. 2012. You know, you joined the band, Jon, and you know, obviously, Jon Anderson's got a very unique, a very pronounced voice. Matter of fact, the first time, you know, when I first met him, you know, he said, you know, hello, and you know, it was the roundabout voice. I mean, there was no doubt that was the guy who sang Roundabout. Now, when you joined, and you know what I'm talking about, I know. But what kind of I don't know, was it what kind of pressure did you have? A little sound as something? You obviously you're spot on anyway, but is it something that I gotta sound like this guy? I mean, how much of that was like in your head versus I'm doing my thing and then hopefully they like it, kind of a?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I hear myself and I think, wow, I do really sound like him, and I've picked up a lot of habits, good habits in his style that wasn't so intentional. I think I just thought, well, I'm going to go out and do my own thing. I've always strived to find that perfect balance between doing justice to the part but making it my own. So just luckily,
and that's the challenge.
Works. Yeah,
just what you say. That's the challenge. You know.
Yeah.
Doing exactly what you said, doing it your part, but respecting what it was in the first place.
Yeah, but you see, his voice is up here. So, and I'm down here. I have a much lower speaking voice, and yet I'm singing the same high notes. So it's obviously more of a challenge for me, I think. I always thought that was sort of an interesting. I wasn't about to start walking around and meeting fans talking like this. Hello.
That's funny.
The thing about Yes, I think that for me has always been the most interesting, even before I joined the band, is how the different shapes of lineups have changed and evolved, and how the band continues to go forward. I mean, I have heard that this band is over since 1983. You know, before they figured it out and came back with the biggest record they've ever had. You know. So it's just a funny thing. It's like a, you know, it's on this trajectory that can't be stopped. And it's interesting, you know, to think about. I mean, I'm 6 years now having replaced Chris, which is quite amazing.
Yeah.
Feels like yesterday, but it's 6 years. And I mean, Jon was there longer, and Jon Anderson's been out of the band for 16, 17 years.
Really? God.
Yeah. I mean, time marches
on. Who's playing drums? Who's playing drums?
That was Jay Schiller.
Alan White.
Oh, Jay. Okay.
And Alan. Alan plays some songs, but Jay plays. Yeah.
Yeah, Jay Shellen, who is a ally of mine forever, and actually played with Tony and other bands, and he played in Conspiracy with me and Chris. He's it's between him and Alan, they divvy it up and get the job done quite nicely. And it's great to play with Jay because for me, I'm so used to that Alan White thing, that groove, and Jay respects and sort of modeled his playing early on after Alan, as I did with Chris. I mean, one of the first conversations I had with Jay when we started working together was, I said, well, at lunch before we played together, I said, who's your favorite drummer? He said, Alan White. I said, I know I'm going to love how you play. And we just clicked from that moment on. He's a perfect guy for it.
Didn't Alan White play on John Lennon's Imagine?
He did.
Yes, he did.
We did that on the last tour. And on the live record, actually, we were lucky enough to capture John Lodge's performance in Vegas when he came out and sang the song. And John will attest it. It just was a real special moment that was going on there. Between Alan's thing and having John there, it was incredible.
I think you guys did that night.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
John, let's talk about.
We were all teed up to go out and do the Relayer album, which among the Yes fans is one of the fan favorites, and it's probably the most complex of all the Yes albums to get under your fingers. And I had rehearsed at home for a good 6 weeks, just shedding to the record, getting every note just perfect, and had it all together, and it was in here. And then COVID kicks into gear, and it's like there's nowhere to go.
Boom!
I know.
So not only is that frustrating as hell, but the idea that I gotta, because it's all gone now. I gotta go back.
You gotta relearn it now.
Oh my God, I had it. What the hell,
Yeah.
So, can't wait for that because this is
absolutely
going on.
We all are dying. We all are dying. You got? Have you either one of you guys been told about any tour dates coming up yet?
Not so much right now. It's like anything. I think as soon as you see your Journeys, U2s, Coldplays, Carmine, Vinny, when everybody's out there, we'll all be out there. I think once the key is turned, it's going to look like a Black Friday at Walmart. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be.
I think I can only play for. I think I can only play for 45 minutes now. I can't do 90 minutes.
Somebody asked me that in an interview yesterday. They said, "You think you'd be able to still play an hour and a half show?" I said, "I don't know. I haven't played an hour and a half show since last February."
Yep. Well, the way you play, Vinny, the way you bang those things, I can't imagine you doing more than 45. I haven't seen anybody hit as hard as you in a long time, man.
Just keep pissing me off. I'll play all 90 minutes like that.
So you're inviting me to every show. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and piss me off on the side of the stage, and I'll play like that.
Yeah, he'll get you on FaceTime.
Yes, he will.
Yeah.
Hey, John, let's talk a little bit about Asia and those legends. You joined this situation and walking into that. I mean, how much? How much was that? How difficult or easy was that?
I'm sure you mean Billy, because I haven't joined that band yet.
John, I'm sorry, Billy. I'm sorry.
Come on, Ron. What the hell?
I know.
It's that.
Here's the thing. Here's you know what I'm thinking?
Sweater.
No, before we go, you know what I'm thinking? I'm like, look at that freaking hair that guy's got. I'm like, look at this. And look at that. And I was staring at his hair, and I'm like, John, yeah, you were in you were in Zeppelin, weren't you? Yeah.
He's got great hair. I have COVID hair.
Look at this guy. Anyway, Billy. Walking into that situation, how was intimidating? Those are some serious dudes in that band, of course.
Well, it was the same kind of emotional roller coaster that Yes was, that first tour I did with Yes, where Chris wasn't there. Wetton, I had produced his last solo album called Raised in Captivity, and we became friendly. And out of the blue, I got a call from the guys, we want you to come do this tour because, John's not going to be able to make it, and he wants you to do it. And I thought, oh my God, that's an incredible honor. It's also incredibly sad. And so it was a full range of emotions, but you know, I did the best I could going out there on a moment's notice, and we opened up for 45 shows for Journey, which was incredible. And quite frankly, that was the first time that I had been a lead singer in front of 15,000 a night, and there was a part of me that was like, holy shit, am I really going to go out there and do this? You know what I mean? But just kind of fearlessly went for it, and it worked out quite well. And it was really, an amazing experience to be able to do that for Jon, but also to play with another drummer hero of mine, Carl Palmer.
Are you up for the challenge, Billy?
When I was a kid growing up, playing drums when I was a kid, like you were showed that clip. In my mind, when I was home playing to those records, I was on stage with the LP playing Brain Salad Surgery and go Close to the Edge. And so to finally be able to actually work with these guys on that level was amazing.
Hey, Billy, wasn't that Carl's thing? Are you up for the challenge? What was that thing he used to say?
That was his thing, right? Up for the challenge. The funniest thing.
Now that's an intense guy.
We had such a great time on that tour too. The guys in Journey were incredibly kind and made sure we were comfortable, and it was amazing. And then the next tour with Asia was, the band kind of was thinking that there might be someone whose voice was a little more in that genre of Wetton's. I mean, I sound like I sound, and which isn't necessarily like Wetton. I mean, people seem to think I sound more like a hybrid of Gabriel and John Anderson than I do John Wetton. So Ron Bumblefoot, right? Ron Ball was brought in, and he just kicked butt and is a super nice guy. Incredible musician. His guitar chops are off the chain. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, right.
And so that was the tour. You saw mine. It was quite good.
Billy, we just did we released a Guitar Zeus, and we got Ron on a track that was never released. It's still on 24 track.
Oh,
we
cool.
digital it over, and he's been on this show, and he also played on mine and Vinny's album on a couple of tracks.
He's incredible.
Amazing guy.
Such a nice guy.
Yeah.
You would think
he's a nice person. He really is.
But there's none. He's just a total musician down to earth, which is kind of the cool thing about the Yes community and the Asia community. It's like we're just all musicians who just want to do the best we can. None of us are walking around like rock stars. You know what I mean? It's just all about the music. You know what I mean? It's cool. It's cool.
We've got a couple questions from our audience. By the way, everybody, right now, we got so many people on. This is a big success tonight. We're always having a good time with it. Make sure you guys like it. Make sure you guys share it. Make sure you guys tell everybody you know about Artists on Lockdown. And if you got any questions, I'm on the chat right now.
Hanging and banging.
I got a question for you guys. Tell me about the Arc of Life project. This is from Gwen, one of our loyal listeners and readers and viewers.
Well, all right. Well, we're really excited about this album that's finally come out. It's been several years in the making. After Billy joined the band, we immediately became friends and hanging, off stage on tour. And we just wanted to create music. We started just bouncing ideas off one another. We had so much in common in what we wanted to achieve. So we just started writing, and I think what was that first year? Was it like 2017 on the tour bus, Billy?
Yeah.
We started.
Yeah, 2017. Yeah.
And we started recording any opportunity we could. I think even backstage between band sound checks, we would be in our dressing room. I think there's probably a few beverage refrigerator hums on some of those recordings.
Yes, there's
so the studio you used to have.
Here's a good picture. This is a photo shoot we did not long ago.
Yeah.
I sent this one in.
And Arc of Life kind of came out of the songwriting and then evolved into a band, concept because the songs felt like they needed that kind of trajectory and that support.
Yeah.
So that's where the idea came in of Jay being the obvious choice for drums, and Jimmy Hahn, who's a fantastic guitar player, and was in Logic with me on my first record that the guys at Toto produced, and He's also in Circa. He played in Conspiracy. He's on the Yes Union album. You know, he's kind of one of those de facto sort of members, if you will.
Hell of a player. Yeah.
Incredible guitar player, super nice guy. And then Dave Kersner on keyboards. Dave's got his own career in his own right, and he's got his band Sound of Contact. And, you know, we've been threatening to work together forever. And I kind of said to John, what do you think about Dave? And so these things just all took shape. And before you knew it, we had it. And it took about 2 years to create. And then right around the time COVID kicked in was like when we were about to start looking at album covers and artwork and starting to think, okay, here we go. And we got a little derailed by that. But the timing of this now seems to be okay because I think we're coming out of the COVID storm. And most likely Arc of Life will probably be able to do shows before Yes, because the smaller venues are going to become available first, you know, and big theaters and arenas, they're going to have to figure out how to do.
Sure.
And so I think the timing is accidentally going to work out too, you know. So it's,
is there a single? Is there one kind of focus on this?
No, it's multifaceted. I mean, we released our first single, which is a bit more, I don't want to say poppy, but it definitely has its sort of, you know, commercial colors in it, but sort of with proggy music going on. Nothing too over the top proggy. That happens later on the album. So it's more of a straightforward song, but it's really varied, wouldn't you say, Billy?
It is. I mean, it's got a lot of hooks in it and tricky arrangements underneath it. So it's kind of like there's this simplicity about it meets this complexity in the arranging, and that sort of develops further in concept between the two as the album progresses, really, until you get to the last two tracks, which a lot of people have kind of thought, wow, this is where the band is going now. Let's follow along. So
it's like a journey. It's like a journey in concert kind of a thing. You're taking us on a journey, on a path.
It's like an evolution, if you will.
An evolution.
It's almost like looking at a band making 3 records in the first one.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
Usually,
Andy, one of our guys, one of our viewers, Andy is asking, do you think is there any talk about Yes and Asia on tour together?
I think there's always talk about it. It's just about strategically planning it so it doesn't become redundant. You know, you always want to mix it up each year, but that's something that can always happen. Absolutely.
I would love that. Hey, Carmine, we have a question for you, my man, because here in Chicago, I don't know, nationally, look, was that vodka, freaking John?
Oh, man, you caught me. I'm sorry.
It looked like a Svedka or something.
I got
Sorry,
some vodka too.
Oh, heavy on.
Cheers.
Well, yours looks like water. That looked like a Svedka bottle. Anyway,
you're in the wrong square. You need to come over to my square here.
Hell yeah. Hey, Carmine, so they've got they're starting to bring back at least in Chicago, I don't know nationally, with some of these we have a thing called Me TV here. And Jim wants to know, because on our Me TV, where they're bringing back classic TV shows, they're bringing back Ed Sullivan. Do you think the Vanilla Fudge episode will be on that?
Probably, because it was on all the best of, you know.
I had
DVDs.
Sorry to interrupt, but I had a DVD collection, and that was on there. And I just have to say, Carmine, that was one of the most impressive displays of drum showmanship on that entire show, bar none.
Oh, thank you.
Your performance on that song with Vanilla Fudge, mind blowing.
I showed him all that stuff.
I'm sure you did.
Well, you were number one.
Vinny was 9, 8 or 9 at that time.
I watched it live, and I was probably more nervous than Carmine was.
Yeah.
Really?
The worst part about it was you rehearsed for all week for the show, and then Ed Sullivan would come in and meet you. Hello, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. And then we're going down, and we're all dressed up in the English outfits that we bought in England. And we're coming down the elevator. And those days, they had the elevator operators. There's a black guy, and we said to him, "Hey, man, how many people watch this show?" And he goes, "Oh, about 50 million." And my stomach went like,
I
got so nervous.
Where's the bathroom?
I want to know.
until I went onto the stage. Until I went onto the stage, I started actually playing. Then it went away. You know? But that was so nerve-wracking.
Wow, I bet.
How about you, Vinny?
About 50 million.
How about you, Vinny, at home? What was home like? Was mom and dad sitting there? Were your aunts there? Or your neighbors there to see your big brother?
Oh yeah, I don't know about the aunts, but the the immediate family, and then there was friends, everybody. You know.
So when you got home, Carmine, you're walking down the street like, hey.
The next day we sold 100,000 singles or something crazy.
I'm sure.
Where was that filmed? New York? Is that in New York somewhere?
Yeah, New York. The Sullivan Theater. Which turned into the Dave Letterman play.
Dave Letterman.
Yeah. Wow.
Where I played in 1994 was the first Yes tour I did, and I was brought on like a multi-instrumentalist guy who'd play keys and guitar and whatnot. And we did this track, and Yes set up, and they put me because they didn't want me to be seen with the band, I guess. I don't know. But they put me over with the Paul Schaefer band. So it looks like if you watch the video, to my eyes, I think it's kind of funny. You see Yes, and then they pan over to the Schaefer band, and it looks like Billy Sherwood's Paul Schaefer band.
Actually, we have Paul Schaefer on, I think, next week, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, cool. You got to remind
Good guy. Kidding.
Yeah,
but
but
Paul played on a record that I produced in '93, which was Grammy-nominated record. It was a good record. I had produced Paul Rogers' tribute to Muddy Waters.
Oh, great.
And Schaefer did some keys on there too.
Cool. Yeah. But Carmine, back to that performance, you even had that kick drum from hell back then.
Oh yeah, I had the 26 by 15 big giant kick drums, the biggest one in rock. And I bought it for $5 in a pawn shop. That's PAWN. PAWN.
Was there anything in it?
Paper, newspaper, ripped up newspaper.
Just to bring it down a little bit.
And it had I learned that from Dino Danelli from the Rascals. He said, the newspaper takes down all the harmonics you don't want in the bass drum, but it doesn't muffle it. You know? And you have a front head on it. We had a front head on it. And that's the best bass drum sound that you can get is with the front head.
Oh, yeah. And I love your stuff in BBA, too, I have to say.
Yeah, BBA was awesome. And I sang and played. And I did the singing and playing. Yeah. Unlike Vinny, that never sings. I sang lead on many. So there's one.
I run out of hair.
Yeah, there's one thing on YouTube called Morning Dew with BBA. And it starts off in, like 4/4, then it goes into the 6/8 jam. And I looked at it, and I'm singing my ass off. I said, oh my God, and really high and ballsy, and I'm playing my ass off. I said, how the hell am I doing that? You know?
But Bogart sang too, didn't he?
Yeah, Bogart sang Superstition. Tim sang all the really high stuff in Vanilla Fudge.
Oh, okay.
Cactus and BBA.
I'm always amazed too. I'm always amazed too how your drums were mixed on that album. Because your kick drum was like way over pan.
It's on the right.
Your snare was like way on the opposite side. You were like spread across the spectrum, but somehow it really worked.
Yeah, we did this. We did the kick drum, the snare, like left center, and then the left bass drum was on the left side. Hi-hat was on the left, and the toms were split. So it's really true stereo. Today they don't do true stereo anymore.
Wow.
No.
You know?
Interesting.
No, you have the drums down the middle. The drums are down the middle. You can put the toms left and right, but I mean, it's not really stereo.
No, and the room
it's almost mono. Right. It's almost mono.
Big mono.
You keep hanging on. Recording was done in a one-take mono. Everything at once.
Wow.
I always say that 7.5 minutes would change my life.
Wow. Carmine, didn't you play on People Get Ready with Jeff Beck and Rod Stewart?
Yeah, well, I did. That's my voice. They emulated my voice on the emulator, and the drum pattern. I programmed that drum pattern on a drum machine over Dwayne Hitchings' house.
Okay.
Jeff was staying with me, hanging out with me for a couple of weeks in my house. I just got divorced, and he was, he never had a girlfriend, or he broke up with his girlfriend. Came over and hung out with me, And they said, where can we do some music? I said, let's go to Dwayne's house. He had a little studio, so we put that together. Yeah. And then he said, wow, it sounds like People Get Ready. I said, yeah, you're right. And I started singing it because I sang it with the Fudge, And I started singing it. And then Jeff said, why don't we try and get Rod on it? I said, good idea.
Cool.
So we called Rod up, and he was eating at Dan Tanner's, Dan Tanner's, next to the Troubadour. Yeah. And we went down there with the cassette. Rod was coming out, and we said, hey, you got to listen to this. A week later, we were in the record plant studios with Ricky Delina, Vinny. Ricky Delina grew up with my brother, Vinny. He was an engineer. And I had the earphones on. I had Rod over there and Jeff over here. And I was telling Rod where to sing, and Jeff played. And Jeff did a few, about 3 tracks. And then they went to the pub, and they left me, Ricky, Dwayne to do some combines and stuff. But then when it came out, we never got any credit, Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Welcome to the music business.
Yeah.
I gotta say, Carmine, with all the incarnations of your bands, I was fortunate, like a few of us out there, to host the Platinum Rock All Stars. Yeah. And Billy Eggleston brought that up. When you did Groovin' with Gene Cornish, man, that was talk about back in the day rock and roll, man.
Yeah,
we loved it. And I know they were such a big influence on you, those Rascals.
They were. And then 2018, I replaced Dino in the Rascals. We did 15 shows, and then and Gene collapsed on stage, and actually he died. And my roadie, Shaggy, is his name. He got the defibrillator and hit him 3 times and brought him back to life till the ambulance came.
Oh my! I didn't know you were part of that band.
Huh?
I didn't know you were part of that band like that.
Yeah, I never heard that.
Yeah. We toured in 2018. We did a lot of cool shows. We did a show with Ronnie from the Ronettes, Be My Baby. That's where I got my vibrato from. Be my little baby,
Nice.
I used to love that, man. I saw her at the Brooklyn Paramount, and one of those Alan Freed or somebody's show, Alan Freed, Clay Cole, I don't know. And the Ronettes had they had mini skirts on. I remember they turned around their butts to the audience, and the 3 of them shook, and the whole audience went crazy,
Baby.
I know. Oh, they were awesome with that.
Wow.
Did you do the Eddie Money part on the Ronnie Spector song?
I didn't.
Did it live?
I didn't.
I thought.
No, but that was.
But I think when we do Drum Wars with both you brothers on stage. Yeah. I think the whole turning to the audience with the butt shaking, I think that should be part of it. I really do.
I wanted to always do that. He didn't want to do it. I'm up.
I told him he better lose some weight first.
Oh, my God.
So tell us about this.
Go ahead, please.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Ron. Tell us about this dual drumming thing you guys do, because I'm actually not aware of that.
Drum was incredible. It's really, really fun. We do a little bit of each of our songs. We open up with Mob Rules, then we'll do cool. What's the second song, Vin? I don't even remember. No, we do everything. We do You Think I'm Sexy?
Drum Wars.
Yeah, nice. Drum Wars is the second song. We do You Think I'm Sexy, Bark at the Moon, We Rock, Sabbath. Yeah. We do it all. We do songs from our album. It's really, really cool. Really
there's a lot of comedy in it, and it's loose and anything.
Yeah, we have fun with the audience.
Very high energy. You see
that picture? You see that picture? There's a snare drum in front of the bass drum, right? Put that picture. You see that snare drum in front of the bass drum? Yeah, I put that on like a guitar, and I play the snares with a pick.
Oh wow!
And it creates this really wild sound.
Like a brush almost.
Yeah. Like Vinny does the groove, and I play that. We solo. We take 4s with that, and then Vinny does a solo after that, and. We have a good time. We really have a good time. We play all the hits.
And that's amazing. If you think about Black Sabbath, Dio, Fudge, Rod Jeff Beck. I mean, come on, look at that.
That's our new setup. We can fit that in the station wagon, and we can go anywhere.
Perfect.
I let him use my drum kit.
We throw sticks back and forth. There's the sticks in midair.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I tell you what, being on my side of the world with what I do, that is one of the most amazing shows to bring to a venue. It really, really is.
Oh, I'm sure. Vinny, I
It
just
really
got to
is.
tell you, Vinny, I got to tell you, I showed that picture earlier of me and Taylor. So a few years ago, I just went on tour with Foo Fighters just to hang, right? So they play these 3-hour shows, and Taylor's drumming is just monstrous. But he would actually listen to Holy Diver on the tour bus after a gig to wind down, believe it or not.
Wow.
Oh, really?
And and I confess, somehow I missed the Dio train the first time around, but we would hang and listen to that. And I mean, like, stand up and shout, that drumming on there.
Oh,
He would play that. Dave and Taylor would play that to me and just say, how does he do it? I mean, and they turned me on to your drumming.
It's really fun. We do that
every time I see them. They say, "How'd you do that opening fill? What is that?"
No kidding.
And when we do our show, we both play that song.
Oh,
and
wow.
it's unbelievably powerful. And we take
Ben,
fours.
Put that picture up again of Taylor and John. No, the other one.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, Ron, is that your sweater in the bass drum?
Oh my God, this guy! You see how he busts my freaking onions?
That's
And you know what? I was gonna say something about that. That's the worst thing you could do is put a pillow on your bass drum.
Yeah.
Pillows
I'll tell Taylor you said that. He was probably 17 at the time.
Yeah, I mean, we used to go to studio and then listen, the engineer would say, "Well, we got to pad up the bass drum." I go, "Why do that? Let me just play the couch."
I heard the My Pillow works well, but the Giza Dream Sheets work even better. So.
Oh my God!
No, actually, the Sunday LA Times works the best.
Unless you're a Democrat, apparently. I don't know.
That's not a pillow; it's a sweater.
Yeah.
I got to deal with this every week. So you know what? I can see we're going downhill. I want to thank our guests, Billy and Jon. God love you. Man. Thank you so much. We're really looking forward to
Before we go, what are you doing in Barbados, Jon?
Well, it's a long story. We don't have much time, but basically, the last Yes cruise that we did in 2019, which had John Lodge on the cruise, I met his wonderful daughter, Emily. We fell in love. We've been together ever since.
Oh,
thank you. Yeah, the Lodges have a house here. Huh?
It's Papa John.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So the Lodges have a house here, and we're all here right now, the four of us.
Oh, great. Cool. Tell John we said hi.
Please.
Oh, I definitely will.
And
we're looking forward to having you guys back in Chicago for sure.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, we'll be there. Thanks, guys.
We have a house in St. Martin, which is similar to that.
Oh yeah, good. So you know what it's all about.
I have a house in St. Charles. Big deal.
Hey.
I'm in Van
guys.
Man.
Hey everybody! I got to remind
everybody. Really, thanks, Jon. Thanks, bro.
Please like us. Please share us. Check out our podcast. We're now on Apple, on iHeart rather, on Apple and our Spotify platforms. We're just it's blowing up. Next week,
Eddie Trunk and Paul Schaefer, I think.
Cool. It's going to be an unbelievable. And those two, you know what? They get mixed up for each other a lot. Apparently,
yeah, right.
I don't know.
Tell Eddie I said
Great week, guys. We'll see you every week, Thursday nights, right here. Hanging and banging.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Billy.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.